Alrighty, y'all. We are making fake baked cupcakes. Look at how real this looks. Isn't it gorgeous? It's day 12 of my 31 uploads in 31 days, and we're going to get straight into this project. And I just want to tell you, it's not that hard. You probably got to practice your piping because I still have to practice because I'm horrible. But let's go. So we're going to start with our supplies. Of course, you're going to need your lightweight spackling. I bought this big one. They do come in smaller sizes. You can get them from Amazon or Home Depot. Your piping tips, you can choose the size that you want. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even know what size that was. I just bought it. And they have like piping kits, so you have different shapes. You're going to need your piping bags, also from Amazon. And these dummy cupcakes, it makes it so much easier to make. I'll have the link to purchase. Your cupcake wrappers, I got these from Michael's. A stick for stirring. I forgot to show a picture, but some kind of paint. And we're gonna need empty cups for mixing. So I use this baking sheet. This is my crafting sheet. You can see it's a mess. And we're going to need a glue gun I want to adhere that dummy cupcake onto the bases. So first I load each one in there. And this pan is just my holder. You don't need a pan if you don't want to use a pan. You could just glue them on with your hands, rest them on the table, and you're good to go, right? So we're going to start with our cup and our lightweight spackle. Now, I just want to remind you, always cover this down when you're not using it. So I stir it up a little bit just to get it like whipped kind of. It's really thick. Put a good amount in a cup. I always like to have more than I'm going to need. So I do put a lot. Now, because it's really thick, we're going to add a little bit of water. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. Pour a drip, stir it up, and then you feel and see if you like the consistency, then a drip more in there. You don't want this to be runny because it's not going to hold its shape. You still need it to be thick, but not too thick where it's struggling to come out of the piping bag. Now for the color, we're going to add them in the cup. Seal that container when you are done. You don't want that to dry up. We're going to use just our regular like dollar acrylic paint from Michael's. Pour in a drip, and when I tell you stir, dig from the bottom, dig from the sides. You don't want to see no white. Once you don't see any white, if you don't like the color, add a little bit more. But baby, stir, stir. Dig from the bottom, dig from the sides, scrape it out. Try to get all of it so that the color mixes really good, right? Now, this part, you're going to put glue around the edging of these. And I do this just so it can hold on to the cup. Not too high at the top, then a little in the bottom. So I put the cupcake wrapper in the pan and then pressed it down, but it didn't go low enough for me. So I took it out and I squeezed it to the top because I want it to be as high on that fake cupcake as possible. I don't want to show too much of the fake cupcake. So I would use the pan just to store them, but not to like glue them and hold them down for me, right? So I just finish all of those up. There we go. And we're going to work with just the three in the beginning, right? So you get your piping bags. These are really large, and I like that because it can hold a good amount. And they have multiple sizes. When you click the link for that, the Amazon link for that, you'll see. Now you're going to put the piping tip, just push it to the front. When you clip the front, guys, clip a little bit at a time. You don't want to go more. So I put my hand and make like a cone to hold it, but then I realized I can't hold it like that and dip out. So I had to keep putting it down, scraping it in. Don't worry about it. It takes a little time, but it's good. It wasn't anything that I was complaining about. So also I wanted to get all that I had, so I like literally scraped that stick out. You're gonna like turn this as tight as it can go, squeeze to the top, repeat the process for I was going to say vanilla, but yeah, this could be considered vanilla. And also too, this is really white. So if you wanted to add like a little bit of cream paint to make it look more frosting-ish, you could do that too. Also, I did it before with chocolate, and I wanted to show y'all this. This was my practice of my frosting, like my piping skills. I still suck. I got to practice, but basic is good enough. So now this is the process. I just squeeze it and then I go around the perimeter of the cupcake. Depending on the look you want, you don't want to go too far on the edge unless you want it kind of hanging over. Now, when I did this, you couldn't tell me that this wasn't perfect, right? Don't it look like I did a good job? But then when I turned it to the side, I didn't like it. That big space right there, it looked real crazy. So like I went back in. Make sure you go the correct direction. I was about to go the wrong direction. And then I did another layer like going around just to fill it out because it was looking like scrawny on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And now look at it. Perfect. 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 I love that one. I honestly, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, this ended up being my favorite one. So I repeated the process, and these tips are two different kind of tips. Also, too, you want to try to put that in the bag where you could avoid like ear pockets, because that's what happened there. So because of my mishap with the strawberry one, I tried to go around it good to make it wide, and it worked out a little bit right on that edge. It needs a little help. So what I would say the difference is, right? When you're making cupcakes, oh, I tried to get fancy with a little stripe look going on. Having like a little lump on the top to go around, like to make your shape will work out. So maybe putting a little puff of the frosting in the middle and then going around, and that would help that shape issue that I had. But I'm going to practice. Also, too, y'all saw that the cupcakes have that little hole in the middle. That's when you push your cupcake topper in the top of this, once it hardens, that gives that space if you have like a really long one. So with that one, I went back again and filled it up. And all of the others that I had there, I just made them all. You want to let these dry for at least 24 hours. It's not going to dry hard as a rock. It's just going to dry like perfect, basically. Now here, I didn't realize I was blocking y'all view. I said, let me try to get a little fancy, do a little dollop of each color. Big mistake. Horrible. I can't even say mistake because I'm trying to see what I like and what I can do, but it looks like crap. And this is actually going to end up in the garbage. I will not be using that. I don't know. It don't look good, but I did practice. Practice makes perfect. Maybe next time. But anyway, look at how cute these are. Look at how cute they are. So now when you take your photos with your cupcake toppers, it's going to look much better. So I came back to show you how I cleaned this, right? So I took the True Control knife and did a little slit to get the plastic off. And what you want to do, you want to get as much of that out of your piping tip as you can. So I use paper towel and I push it out. If you don't want to waste, just push that right back into the container. And if it's the pink one, push it into the cup and cover the cup so you could reuse it later. So you want to go in and just keep turning and scraping and cleaning it out. It still had some residue, so I used the paper towel to get some more. And that's because I'm still going to go and wash it, but I want the least amount of this spackle going down my sink. You know what I'm saying? So clean it out real good as if you didn't need to wash it, but still go and wash it to reuse it. So I brought this one back to show you when you have it on the edge, you see how the frosting kind of comes over. But when you start a little more in, you get like a little peekaboo where you see that cupcake right there. So I think it depends on your taste on how you want your cupcake to look. See with this vanilla one? So it's definitely up to you. At first I thought I didn't like the hangover, but looking back at the video, I actually like it. So here goes the close-up of how they look. I think I did a good job. I like it. I love it. Especially, this is my favorite right here. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to see you again for the next upload.